Good morning, evening, or afternoon, everybody. It's Kaghoe coming at you with another video, and we have the Phase 8 official patch notes to go over, and this is quite a lot, so this is going to be a long one, so please bear with me here. And by the way, I did not know that, human mages look kind of good. This is probably the best my troll mage will ever look in-game. So anyway, I'm going to flip it over here and cover these awesome patch notes. So without further ado, here we go. It says Season of Discovery Phase 8, new quest content in Eastern Plaguelands. Players who've completed Phase 7 Eastern Plaguelands quest Scarlet activities may speak with Leonard Bartholomew the Revered at Light's Hope Chapel to accept the quest Unrest at Tyr's Hand. This quest splits off into a few different quest lines related to the Scarlet Enclave content. New area, New Avalon. Go behind enemy lines in disguise as you infiltrate the town of New Avalon within the Scarlet Enclave prior to the events that transpire within the raid. This is a small, crafting-focused town with access to a few common city services, such as a bank, a neutral auction house, and an alchemy lab. To navigate New Avalon in relative safety, all armor crafting professions will have access to 8 new recipes for their respective armor types. So that is tailoring, leatherworking, blacksmithing. Most of the new recipes drop from Crusaders local to the area, while a few can only be acquired from the Scarlet Enclave raid itself. These recipes and items they create can be bought, sold, and traded. Once you have access to and complete gathering intelligence from the Scarlet Inquisitor Calderon at the Scarlet Base Camp, west of Tyr's Hand, you will gain access to the quest New Avalon and receive a Scarlet Insignia, which can be used alongside of the 4 crafted items to blend in with the townsfolk of New Avalon. While disguised, most residents are friendly to you, and a few among them even have new quests for new profession recipes such as bigger bags, cooking feasts, and so much more. Beware when mingling with the citizens, however. Scarlet Bloodhounds will not be fooled by your disguise, and the Crusaders are determined to ensure that intruders will not live to see tomorrow. Byron Steelblade, the Scarlet Quartermaster, will offer a weekly quest to either craft or donate equipment in exchange for a Scarlet Junk Box. So make sure you do that every week, guys. That box is very important to Phase 8 and everything you're going to be doing in the future. These boxes contain tarnished undermine reels and a variety of useful crafting materials. Additionally, they may contain jostled chalice fragments, which upon collecting enough can be reformed into a Crusader's chalice to be traded in with pieces of a crafted disguise for class tier set pieces. So it's not a full-on chalice, it is peat fragments of it, which I hope they see. It says so they do contain it. So by doing this weekly, it sort of mitigates. I like that a lot better than just a random chance to get a chalice. I think that is a lot better. So it's a guaranteed, consistent way to get tier. If you're in a raid and you're just unlucky or whatever happens, you'll be able to earn tier just by simply playing the game. And I think that is really good for Season of Discovery. Inside the town of New Avalon, there's an armistice buff in place that prevent players from engaging in PvP combat. Thank God, because this is like they learned from Phase 3. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to get into it with the PvP people who get all angry at me every time I talk about it, but I'm just happy that they have changed that. It's going to be really good. Then we have the new raid dungeon, the Scarlet Enclave, starting at 1 p.m. Pacific time on Thursday, April 10th. The Scarlet Enclave raid will be available for players to enter. So that's 4 p.m. Eastern time for all of you Eastern gamers like me. The entrance to the Scarlet Enclave can be found near the Scarlet Base Camp west of Tyr's Hand. There is no attunement or prerequisite quest needed to enter the raid, but we do recommend progressing the quest line started by Leonard Bartholomew the Revered at Light's Hope Chapel prior to entering. These quests have awesome rewards, so once again, do that. I've told you guys this 1,000 times, but make sure you do these quests. They're really cool as well. And if you like the story is awesome too. So I would actually read the text for once. I normally don't read the text myself, so. The Scarlet Enclave has 8 bosses and is designed for 20 players. The raid instance accepts up to 40 players. once again, I love this facade as a guild leader, roster manager, all of that. It's made my life infinitely easier, and I sort of love the ability to go in there. The only thing I wish is like it maybe add the retail flex rating for the people that you have, because it's normally getting the right amount of people that's the problem. Like getting like X amount, whether you go 4 or 5 healers, stuff like that. I think a flex scaling difficulty would be cool, but also you can get 40 dad gamers and allows them to clear the content too. So that's also really awesome to see. And then it says, as the first... Oh, wait. So, Scarlet Enclave Raid has a single difficulty mode and is tuned to be a significant challenge for organized groups in next Ramus level gear. So, there's not a hard mode. There's nothing like that. It is just the raid right there is what you get. So, that is really, really cool. Then we have developer notes. As the first all-new raid in the original WoW setting, we felt it was appropriate for the Scarlet Enclave to present a challenge for those who have progressed significantly in the previous tiers. This is a slight departure from the previous approach to raid content, but we hope this content for this content to have a satisfying progression arc for most raid groups. We will watch progress closely, and we will make adjustments as needed if there are any significant outliers in terms of difficulty, and we have built in a mechanism to allow us to reduce the difficulty progressively, similar to the toggle buff raids present in Ice Crown Citadel and Wrath of the Lich Kings. We have no plans to turn this on right now, but we may elect to enable it in the future. So pretty much you'll get a scaling between 5 and 30% buff if you haven't done that. So that'll be really cool if it is needed to be more powerful. And, maybe one day they just put it in because everyone loves big numbers, We'll see. But I like that it's just, there as an option. And if it's too hard, they'll do that. So can't wait to get into it Thursday. I'm super stoked for it. Then we have the new Legendary Weapon quest line. Raid groups progressing through the Scarlet Enclave may encounter a runed Lightforged Blade legendary quest item as a drop from a certain boss encounter, Calderon. This item is the quest starter for the Legendary Weapon quest line. The Legendary quest line is available to warriors, hunters, and paladins. It is not the Ash... they have never actually said that it is the Ashbringer. So it might just actually be a corrupted Ashbringer. And, we'll try to purify it, but fail. I don't know. But they've never actually flat out said that it's the Ashbringer. And at this point, I really would like them to say it's the Ashbringer. But it'd be pretty cool to see that. Then the contents of War-Torn Undermine supply crates have been adjusted. Several of the less desirable materials that could come from these crates have been removed from the loot table, and few more desirable items have replaced them. So maybe they put in some Blood of Heroes. I never actually tested. I just read it and saw that this was it. Then Pix Zazix, the Tarnished Undermine real vendor, now sells the epic class weapons for BWL. Hunters get melee weapons, and priests get a trinket. Important to note because you have your epic MC weapons already. And then the maximum cap of reels is now 250. Karazhan Crypts no longer requires the intro quest line to enter, so you can just go into Kara. Karazhan Trios will still require the Karazhan Crypts line to be completed in order to get the rewards, so that sucks. But, it is a little reward for going through it all. Then the number of Tarnished Undermine reels that drop within Karazhan Crypts and Demonfall Canyon have been increased. That's awesome. So they're encouraging you to do the new content and enjoy it. The cost of AQ and Nax tiers have been reduced by roughly 50%. The Nax tier 3 rings now cost 3 arcane crystals, was 10. The world buffs can no longer be brought into battlegrounds. World buff consumables can no longer be used while inside battlegrounds. So hopefully that'll help a lot of the one-shot meta that we see happening here in Season of Discovery and just battlegrounds. And I don't know if it'll be good or not, but I'm definitely willing to see. I definitely think I hear a lot of complaints for PvP players all the time, so I really think that something like that should be good for the overall health of the game. I don't really PvP, so I can't really give that good of an opinion on it. A new graveyard has been added in New Avalon and Eastern Plaguelands. Any players that die in Tyr's Hand or New Avalon should resurrect there and be able to utilize the Drained of Blood debuff from the Bloodmoon Blackrock Eruption events to quickly recover their corpse. That is absolutely amazing. Thank you guys so much. That is, I was advocating for the Sanctuary to be in tier stand, but that's good. I'll take that compromise or whatever. That'll allow people so you can't just sit there AFK and blast the gate and ruin people's day, which we will see probably a lot of in the coming weeks and days here. So that is such a massive win for players, and I think people will really enjoy all that Phase 8 has to offer. So thank you so much for doing that. I think it'll be great. Mysterious new secrets have been added in the game world. Happy hunting. So maybe Gregory and Undead Paladins or Dwarf Shamans are out there. I know there's a stuff with the secret glasses and the quest that was previously talked about, where's tons of people and secret agents and all that. I definitely plan on covering that. It's just so much for me to just jump in there and do it. I wanted to wait till it was on live so I could actually go there and do it and have some meaning. So I will attempt to make that at some point, but yeah, it's going to be cool. I can't wait to see what other secrets there might be. The Blade of Inquisition strength proc was changed to 175. It was 250. And the actives on the crafted helms from Nomergon can no longer be used on characters above level 59. So these were BIS for people and so on. And then finally, we have a ton of class changes, but these notes were already long enough, guys. So I am going to do a part 2 video talking about all the Phase 8 class changes tomorrow. But it says, going into Phase 8, we wanted to make some changes to damage numbers coming out of Naxxramas, refine and align the durability of tank profiles, and create more room for healers to coexist. You'll notice a lot of changes to previous tiers set bonuses. We wouldn't normally touch those bonuses, but with access to those via shoulder enchants and some tier 3 bonuses doing a lot of the heavy lifting for some classes inside of Naxx, we feel these are the correct alignments to make to ensure that gear upgrades going forward remain meaningful. So once again, a massive change is mage. I've talked about this a few times, but mages in general, there you got probably the biggest nerf of your tier set. So what he's talking about there is changing, reduces, they swapped our 2 and 4 set. So evocation now grants 1%. This used to be 8%. And it stacked to about 40% damage, and now we will only get 8%. So it is a 32% just flat damage nerf to mages, but it also allows for everything else to be used, because if it wasn't changed, just the 40% damage buff would always be better. So anyway, just something to leave you guys on, and I will cover the rest tomorrow. I just feel like this was better to break it down this way so you can see all the game changes, and then we will talk about class changes for tomorrow's video. And yeah, so anyway guys, I truly hope you enjoyed this, and until next time, I'll see you later. Have a great day. Bye bye. Hey you. Yes you. Are you still there? Well, I appreciate you for taking the time to watch this entire video and making it to the end here. If you enjoyed this video, definitely check out the other videos about World of Warcraft listed in these playlists down below. And thank you again. Have a great day. Bye-bye.